Good evening. This is Tradesight's stock market preview for Friday, the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal 11. I want to talk a little bit about the action from the week so far. It's been kind of a strange and unexpected week in a couple of ways. Last week was so great across the board from a trading perspective for us for stocks. This week has been great as well in a couple of days, but in surprising ways. So here's a look at the that's the S&P E-mini futures on a 5-minute chart going back since Monday. And you can see that Monday was pretty flat start to the week after what we'd seen last week. Tuesday we gapped up and just kept going, and it's these big move that's just so surprising out of the blue. Wednesday gapped up. We did end up filling. We did end up closing basically flat, so a pretty flat session comparatively. Thursday we get this gap down, and it really feels like maybe you'll fill the gap if you're lucky, but that's about it on a big gap down. And instead, we end up tearing. It's only 20 points, 4 points, but it's still a big move comparatively to the upside on the S&P. And we had some great trades today. Twitter gave us a nice run. Here's a look at the Twitter chart. We took this breakout over 57. What a nice breakout that was. And that ran for us for a couple of points. There was CERN off the report. And this was another long idea that worked in the morning, broke out for us very nicely here. And then Apple as well. So had a nice, real nice day again here. Big winners on our stock picks. But these moves were surprising. I was not expecting this on Thursday, especially. We've got the storm going on back east. Got a lot of people locked down, unable to really travel, transport to work, etc. And it's just surprising to see these big moves like that when that's happening. We're also getting decent volume. Strongest volume day of the week was today, Thursday. 2 billion NASDAQ shares. The other days were a little below that, but still better than what we were seeing last year. So what do we get for Friday? What do we expect? Well, to be honest, I wouldn't expect much, and here's why. First of all, you do still have the storms going on back east, and it's a Friday, so a lot of people will be even less interested in trading. We do have Valentine's Day. We do have a 3-day weekend ahead, so people are going to head out early. So I would not expect things to be as exciting on Friday as they have been, but you never know. I'm not posting any actual calls to the report because it is ahead of a 3-day weekend with everything that's going on a Friday, but we will certainly be trying to find trades like the Twitter and the Apple again and call them in the room and in a Twitter feed for our stock subscribers. Let's take a look at some of the indices here, and then we'll call it. So here's the S&P 500 has made its way in the last 6 trading days all the way back from after that break under that static trend line and what really looked like we were in trouble here on the S&P. Found some support at 1740 for 3 days and turned up, and it's already catapulted back up 90 points from that 1740 low. That's pretty amazing. We're within striking distance, I would say, of the highs on the S&P all over again. So again, the market just shaking off everything and heading higher, just like we saw all of 2013 last year. Here's the NASDAQ 100. It is at new highs after today's action. Look at that big encompassing. That's a very bullish encompassing bar there. To get a move up like this, to gap down and it completely ignore it and just to tear higher. Very bullish, and we're nowhere on the count yet on these. So this is, there's no signs of an exhaustion signal, which is interesting. And now that we're not heading to the downside, you really have to. I mean, if you're heading down, that's one thing, but when you're heading up and you don't have a count yet, that's something special. So here's a look at the Apple chart. You'll notice Apple's crawled its way back up. Could fill that gap there at 550. Let's take a look at Google. New closing high, hitting that 1200 level on Google. Absolutely amazing. Quite a tear for Google. Twitter did have that rally today, but sold off late, so it didn't close as strong. And I don't think Twitter's going to be able to run much further right now. But Amazon had a good update, but it's still down for the last couple of weeks. Has not recovered. Tesla, this one, here's one that with a nice general cup formation here. If we take out today's high tomorrow with the market heading up, I definitely would want to be involved in this Tesla here. Let's take a look at Netflix as well, new highs there. So, overall, a lot of signs of strength, surprisingly. And again, I just don't know what to expect. I wouldn't expect much tomorrow because of what's going on. Friday, Valentine's Day, ahead of a 3-day weekend. Here's a look at the data for tomorrow morning. We've got import-export prices an hour before the bell, industrial production capacity utilization 15 minutes before the bell, and Michigan sentiment first look for February 25 minutes or so into the market, or as we like to say, whenever the kids wake up in Michigan. So That's it for tomorrow. That's what we're going to be looking for, and we'll call it from the room. I would imagine the second half of the day will be very light, and we'll be probably walking away and not doing much in the afternoon. But everybody have a great long weekend, and we'll talk to you later.